What's going on, guys? It's Mohammed, the host of Aware Alpha, and welcome to another episode, guys. And I think it's episode 80, 81. This one is going to be, I'm feeling super grateful, super excited to just do another episode, share more knowledge. I have another awesome guest onto the show. Today, we have a very special guest. I feel like a lot of the guests that I've brought onto the show are in different industries and different things they're doing in their life, and from bringing, coaches and embodiment coaches and life coaches and just different individuals that are thriving and killing in the space that they're in. And I'm excited for today because what I believe, and the guest that we have on is an entrepreneur, a boss babe, someone that is obviously figured out how to work from home, make money through an online business. And of course, from my understanding, she is also a wife, a mother, and all those. So with that being said, I'm super, super excited for this episode, and I'm excited for everyone to listen to it. And with that being said, the guest today we have her name is Alex, and welcome to the podcast, Alex.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome.
Super excited to be on with you guys.
Awesome. So Alex, one of the first questions that comes to my mind is just give us a background. Like, I'm assuming you weren't always, running a thriving business and you were just like successful and living a good life, right? Like, what is the background? How did you get to where you are, and what were you doing way before, whether it was a couple of years ago or a decade ago? Like, what was your background?
So I started working when I was 14. So I've always dreamt, even as a kid, to be an entrepreneur. Like, I used to plan out businesses when I was like 6 years old. So I've always loved that. Obviously, I didn't think I could do it right out of high school. So I started working for the school district, and I did that for about 6 years. So I was working for corporate America. I had my kids very young. So having to leave my kids to go to a 9 to 5 was just something that was very difficult for me as a mother, and for most mothers.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up getting really sick. I didn't even know what anxiety was. I went to the doctor. He's like, "I'm sorry, you can't go back to work. We have to take you off." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, how am I supposed to work? How am I supposed to pay my bills?" So I was married at the time, but it was not, we relied on both of our incomes. So, I was stressing out about that. I ended up being a stay-at-home wife for about almost a year. And during that whole time, I was trying to be a stay-at-home wife, taking care of the kids. But at the same time, in my mind, I'm like, how am I going to make money? Because I cannot, we were behind on our bills, which is something that we were not used to.
Yeah.
So my sister and I, she's a cosmetologist, we started thinking, like, what can we do? Like, she's like, "Well, I love makeup." I'm like, "Well, I love business." So we kind of got together. We started a makeup line. And so we started a makeup line that actually took us a different direction, because we ended up meeting with a vocational school director, and she brought us in, and she's like, "You know what? I actually don't want your makeup, but I do want you guys to open a makeup department at my school." So we opened this makeup department at her school. We had no idea. Like, we knew how to do makeup because I used to dance in high school, and my sister, obviously, she's a cosmetologist, so she knew about makeup. So we planned out the curriculum, the lesson plans, the whole thing around our kids. My kids at that time were a year and 3. So I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So, running around with 2-year-old, 2 kids, trying to plan out a curriculum and lesson plans for this school. So literally, she gave us 2 months, and she said, "We've got to start. Like, I have a start date. I already have all students lined up. Like, you guys need to teach and all this, right?" So we used to work over weekends and holidays and everything. Like, the men would be outside hanging out, drinking. My sister and I would be inside, working our butts off. So we launched it. Like, we met the deadline. We started our first class. We were so nervous because we have never taught none of that stuff, but it was amazing. Like, to be able to teach someone to look pretty and feel confident is just something awesome. So I fell in love with that. I fell in love with the ability to mentor these girls, not just on teaching them how to do makeup, but also how to start a side business doing the makeup. And so I loved it. We fell in love with that. We did that for about 2 years.
Nice.
And I mean, I don't know if you want to stop me and ask any questions if I'm going too fast.
Yeah, no, you're doing amazing. I did have a question there. Was on my mind was, so the business as you guys did it, and like, so you were teaching these people and the students, were you guys also selling your own products while you guys were doing this?
Yeah, so we were literally getting paid $18 an hour, which, you know, it's really not hardly anything living in California. So the way that we would actually make our money is she would allow us to sell the kit to each of the students. So we were selling our kits for $300.
Nice.
So 20 students every couple of months, you know, we were making pretty decent money that
awesome.
way. And at the same time, we were growing our cosmetic line. So it was like, you know, we were doing good. We were enjoying what we were doing. Most of all, we were just enjoying the mentorship part of the whole job, and it was awesome. It was like some of the best times of my life. During that time, we ended up losing our home because we had to leave. The market had kind of crashed here in California. So we left our home. We started renting a little small house, but it was closer to where we were working. So we didn't have to drive so far. And we did that for 2 years, right? We did that for 2 years, and it wasn't in English, right? So these classes that we were teaching, not only was it something new for us, but it was in another language. We had to teach these classes in Spanish. And, you know, Spanish, even though that was my first language, like I stopped speaking, you know, I'm not as comfortable expressing myself in that language as I am in English. So it was, and the terminology like was another thing that was really difficult for us. So we were getting lots of requests because we were on social media already. And so we were getting so many requests like, hey, I need these classes, but I need them in English. Like, where can we get these classes in English?
Oh, wow.
So after 2 years, we talked to the director and we were like, you know what? Like, we've enjoyed being here and we feel like we've helped you grow and we've helped you train other instructors. But now it's really time for my sister and I to branch out on our own and do this in English or bilingual, because at the end of the day, we still wanted to service, you know, our Spanish speakers.
Of course.
So
did you guys, sorry to cut you off, so did you guys end up coming with like an online program, like where to teach it all over, like globally, or was it more you guys just went to teach it English like locally?
So it's kind of funny that you say that, because that's how our business ended, is online. And we kind of just stopped it because I started doing the fitness. But initially, no, it was all in person. So the girls would come, you know, we ended up finding a location on top of a vet's office. So it was a very small, it had like 3 little offices. One was where we would meet with the students and enroll them. And then we would move to the next office where we would teach the classes. So it was like a classroom setting, right?
Okay.
With vanity mirrors and all that stuff.
No, that's awesome.
So it was in person. We outgrew that location in about 9 months. We moved to like a bigger, I think it was about 2,500 square foot location. And then 10 months after that, we outgrew that one. We moved into a 4,500 square foot location. At that point, we had to hire instructors and office staff and all of that stuff. So we went from my sister and I doing everything to now we're hiring admissions counselors, we're hiring instructors. So it shifted everything. So we were no longer so hands-on teaching the classes because we were so busy running, you know, the actual school.
The business. And so for you guys, so as you transition into fitness and decided to get, you know, start your fitness business, right? Did you guys end up selling that business, or do you guys still have that?
So 10 years later, we had opened 2 more locations, one in Anaheim, one in Pasadena. So we had 3 locations, about 25 employees. And then things got a little shaky in 2019. So we started focusing on a franchise. So we created a whole franchise. All of 2019, we focused on the franchise because we were going to open locations. We had students that would come from out of the country to take our courses. So we really wanted to expand all over. So we started working on a franchise. 2019 was focused on that. And then 2020 happened and it just hit
Yeah.
us and we were weak.
Yeah, for sure.
So the pandemic hit us. They were like, you have to shut down the locations. And
Mm,
so 3 months later, we were like, there's no way, we had our bills were about 25,000 per location and
mm,
not bringing anybody in. It was just impossible for us to continue.
of course.
So within those 3 months, we were like, we have students that just paid their tuition. Like, we're not just going to shut the doors on them. So we started working on online classes.
Mm,
So as we had our doors shut, we still had, as many employees as we could get in there because a lot of them were scared. A
mm,
lot of them like didn't know what was going on with the whole pandemic. They were like, no, I can't work. And we had to respect that because, you can't force anybody to work.
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we were being very safe, and the regulations still said we were able to stay open, but they were still like hesitant. So it was a struggle, but we got through it. We built an online videos, and we set up the whole entire classes online. So
Nice.
we started transitioning all of our students into the online program.
That's amazing. It sounds like, so like overall, it sounds like your first business that you got into, it became a success, like it was the whole makeup line, everything was one of your first businesses, and you were, an employee pretty much for corporate America, and you had this desire to start a business and you knew that you could do it, and your first business ends up being this success, right? What would you say to someone that is looking to start their own business, or looking because they have the desire, they're working for a job they're not happy with, and they also have this desire to start a business on their own? What would you say? What are some things that you would tell them so they don't, let's say, make some mistakes that you might have made?
Honestly, I see a lot of girls and men, wanting to start their own business right now. But I feel like a lot of the time social media like makes it look so beautiful and so easy. And it's not that. It's not
Yeah.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely doable, but you do have to sacrifice your weekends, your evenings. Sometimes we wouldn't sleep because I was up all night doing research.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to hand you things. And that's another thing. Don't expect people to help you. Don't expect people to support you. That's not their job. Like, even if it's your family and your friends, it is not their duty or responsibility to support you. So don't, first of all, you're going to get hurt if you have those expectations. So don't ever expect people to support you or to help you and to give you these answers. Like, you have to do your own research, and you're going to grow so much more that way. And it's very possible. You just have to put in the hard work.
No, it's so true. And I love, like, this is something that I like say a lot. And I love that you said that, like, no one is coming to save you. Especially when you start your own business, like you got to do the research. You got to talk to your customers. You got to package and send it to them. You got to do it all. And a second thing is, I feel like a lot of people start a business, and because they're starting this business, and let's say they're working their job, they feel like they should be getting more love from their family and like more like pats on the back and like, you're doing good. No, it's like when you start a business, first couple of years, like before there's some kind of money and some success comes, like your family's probably going to actually put you down. Probably going to be like, is that thing working? Like, why are you even doing this? Why are you not coming hanging out on the weekends? All this stuff, like, it's a waste of time. You already have a good job. So I love that you shared that, because it's so key. Like, if you are listening to this podcast and you want to start your own business, like, no one's coming to save you. The customers are not just rolling in and like, hey, take my money. Like, you actually have to do the work. You actually have to do the research. You have to actually, like, there's a whole bunch of hats that you wear. You're the customer service rep, you are the marketer, you are the sales, you are the finance. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And obviously, I think what I see in you is that you sound like a hard worker, somebody that had a desire, that wanted to make things happen. But it sounds like one of your big keys that helped you become successful in your first business is that you are a hard worker. You're doing the work, you're doing the research, you were not lazy, right? I feel like a lot of people that have the desire to start their own business don't realize how hard it is. And then, like, once they do run into the challenges, they are not actually executing. They're like more playing the victim and like, oh, I don't know how to do this, I don't know. But nobody knows. When you, like, if you've been working in a job all your life, you probably don't have a lot of skills to start a business. But if you're willing to work, you're willing to learn, you're going to learn, and you're going to overcome these challenges that come, because none of the challenges are really massive challenges. They're just the realities of building a business, and you just have to not be running from the challenges. Instead, you should be looking at every challenge as like, it's good. It's good to have problems. It's good to face these problems, because you're learning something from it, and then you're just going to move into the next level, into the next level, into the next level, right? What would you say are some character traits about you that has helped you become successful in your first business?
I think first of all, I'm really ambitious. And then second of all, I love to help people. And I think that people just see that genuinely, that I like to help people. So I think that has really helped me in my first business.
Okay.
And then I think just having that work ethic, like, you know, as an entrepreneur, you don't have a schedule. No one tells you wake up at this time, go to sleep at this time, and work these hours.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have really good work ethic. And I feel like that's one of the main things for me, is that I have that. Like, I kind of had to make a schedule for myself. And yeah, you can say, oh, well, I can't work at all today because my kids have this and that. But the reality is, no, that's not the way it works. If you're going to be self-employed, you still have to work your 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then you can shift your schedule to do whatever your kids also need you for. But a lot of the times, that's what I'm seeing lately, is these excuses of, no, today I couldn't, this week I can't because it's my daughter's birthday, I have to plan out her birthday party. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You can do that around your work schedule, but you know, your work still has to get done.
Exactly. No, it's like you have to have priorities. So when you're starting a business, you have to accept that like this is a priority, which means that like, what's the priority? Like, I have to make it something that's important. I have to put stuff in my calendar that is like, these time slots I'm working on this business. And I love what you shared. Like, it's so true. You know, even the laws of attraction has the word action in it, which means, like, I always say, like if you're attracting, you can think and visualize and all that stuff, but even the word attraction has the word action in it, which means like you got to take action as well, right? You actually have to do practical things, like start your website, make your post on Instagram, you know, find out your products and the ingredients in it, and like look at your competitors. What are your competitors doing? All these things, right? So work ethic is definitely number one. I love that. Actually, before I ask you the next question, I have like actually, I have a question before I ask you the next question. What is your background? Like, where are you originally from?
So I'm from Southern California. My parents are both from Mexico.
Mexico. No, that's awesome. That's beautiful. I was just curious, like what I could tell, like you have like a slight accent, which is beautiful and nothing wrong with it. But I was wondering like which countries from like South America or like Central America, which country you were from.
Yeah,
so,
Mexico.
No, that's awesome. So what made, obviously, I guess from listening to your story, with, you know, the pandemic and everything that happened in the world, like in a way kind of like caused you guys to kind of have a shift in your business, right? But my question is, so what got you into fitness and choosing to do what you do now, you know, working with the organization that you work, and pretty much, promoting health and wellness, and like what kind of got you into that, besides of course the realities of the world that happen?
I think I've always been into fitness. I've always wanted to work out. Like, if I could, I would work out 2 hours a day. I'm just really into that. So that's what got me into the fitness apparel line, because you know, I have a mom body, and I know a lot of us do out there. So I just wanted to create something that was, you know, easy for moms to wear, where they still felt beautiful wearing it. So that's how I started the fitness apparel line.
Okay.
Just kind of looking for designs that would really fit the mom body.
Okay.
So that's how I started with that. And then, so I was afraid to go back to starting a new business because of what happened to me with the pandemic.
Yeah.
So then I started taking nutritional products, and I just fell in love with the way I felt. And I started sharing it. And when I found out what network marketing was, I said, this is what I need to have a secure source of income. no matter what pandemic comes or whatever happens,
Yeah.
at least if I lose my other business again, I will have this as my backup.
No, it's
So
so
network
true.
marketing is something that I want. I started more for security, but to be honest, I've been doing this for about a year and a half, and I've been able to help out people that have been really, really sick just by changing what they're eating, just by changing their eating habits and, obviously giving them the good supplements and things like that. And most of all, besides the supplements and the stuff that they actually buy from me,
Yeah.
what really helps my clients is the community that I bring them into. So I really fell in love with the community, with the personal development, with the mentors that we have. So
Nice.
that for me is something that has shifted my mindset to, I want to stick to more of the network marketing, and then I want to go the route of the e-commerce with
Of
the
course.
fitness.
Okay, no, I totally understand. And I have a lot of actually friends that are very successful in network marketing. Like actually some of my best friends actually are very successful in network marketing companies, double and triple diamonds in a couple of different companies in your industry. And for myself, like, yeah, no, I've always been a big fan of it. I support it. I'm a customer myself of a company as well. Actually, I've never actually named it on my podcast, but Isogenics, and I tried all their products and everything like that. I actually, it was Zango was the company. Like they have mangosteen products, and then Zija is another company. They have the products from Moringa. And both of these companies were bought out by Isogenics. So I was never like an Isogenics distributor or anything like that. I was actually taking these products from this company named Zija. They're Zija International. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but like, so they were a network marketing company, and they had this product that comes from Moringa oleifera, which is actually a superfood in the world. Like it's a very, very beneficial plant, right? So I was always taking that product and everything. And then the company like got bought out by Zango, and Zango got bought out by Isogenics. But I still, like I said, I take the products, and I'm a committed customer with them. And I always say I'm also a big fan of network marketing, just because the idea of, let's say, like when you're building your e-commerce business, just to do the comparison between building an e-commerce business and a network marketing business. E-commerce business, like you and I have experience. I've built multiple businesses in my life, and in, let's say, e-commerce business, like, okay, let's say you got an e-commerce business that's doing 6 figures a year. You are the customer service. You have to do the Facebook ads. You have to do the social media marketing. You have to handle the logistics, shipping, customer service, HR. So like you got to do all that, unless you are good at building a company and you hire the right people. But then at 100 grand a year, like you're not making much money. Like once you start hiring people, you got to take that e-commerce business to 7 figures and have a proper team of 5-6 people for you to actually, maybe, let's say, take 30% profit margin. So that would be like 300,000. But for a network marketing business, you can do 6 figures and everything is taken care of. Everything is taken care of. All you have to do is like work on yourself and be like a product user, like be an embodiment of this product, because like you're going out there and you're saying like, it does this, it does this, it does this, it does this. So it's like that person has to look at you and see like, okay, like I want to be like this person. I want to do what they're doing. So, and then as long as you can do that, which is all like working on yourself, right? So as long as you work on yourself and be an example of the product, that's it. Like 6 figures is enough for most people, because you're not paying that out to a whole bunch of people, because the company is already handling your logistics, companies are in sales, they're doing everything. You just got to be good at sales. Actually, the sales part is the only thing you got to be good at. Everything else is like the company does. So you can make $100,000 in a network marketing company, pay your taxes, and you're doing well off. Like you're doing pretty good, because you're also working from home. So like you're literally making a 6-figure income and working from home, right? And if most of the times, like from my experience, a lot of people get comfortable, and then like let's say like at 100 people that make it to 6 figures, only like 10 of them will do the push to get to 7 figures in network marketing, because 90% of them are just happy with that. They're like, no way, like this is good stuff. And then they hit their like comfort zone, and like then it's like good luck pushing them to do more meetings and all those things, because they're like, Man, I'm making six figures. Like this is good stuff right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to Mexico and like stay there for a couple months, right? But then I have
Right.
met leaders that are also just ambitious and driven. They get to six figures and then they're like, wow, this is beautiful. I have some key leaders in my organization. Now let's do the push to 250,000. Let's do a push to the and then get to the next level, which just same thing like any business. It requires leadership, it requires all these things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's amazing. I'm glad to hear that. And for you, like I have a couple questions, but the one thing I wanted to ask actually is, so you're married and how many kids do you have?
So got a divorce 5 years ago,
Okay.
and I am right now engaged.
Oh,
So
nice.
I have 5 kids. I have three with my previous marriage, and then I have one with my new marriage, and he has a son. So
Awesome.
together we have five.
And the five live with you guys?
We have at all times here, we have three. So
Okay,
the
okay.
other, my daughter and his son,
Yeah.
they go back and forth with their mom and dad. So
Okay, okay. And how old
yeah.
are the three that are around most of the times?
So the ones that I have here with me full time are 3, 6, and 14.
Nice. How do you like how do you navigate running your business by also having like three little ones? How do you find that? Is it challenging? How does like just the experiences that you have felt running your business comparing to, let's say, when you were working a job and you are not home? How do you, what's the differences? Share some of those.
So an easy life isn't always a happy life.
Mm-hmm.
So my life, with the schools, it was a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
It was not mentally, it was very draining because of
Mm-hmm.
all the responsibilities of the employees, which is you explained perfectly, like why network marketing is so much better than building a business, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about all the stress of all the employees and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easier because I had a full-time nanny. So I would literally get up in the morning and go to work. She would take the kids to school. She would make the food. She would wash the clothes, clean the whole house. I would get home in the evenings and just kind of like cuddle with the kids, ask how their day was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would go to their events when they had anything going on.
Yeah.
Even at the events, I had a personal assistant that would help me.
Mm.
If my daughter used to do dance competitions, she used to help me like organize her costume sometimes while I got some work done. So
Nice.
it was a lot of that. It was easy, but I wouldn't trade how it is now. Now, if I do any events or if I do anything, if I'm on social media,
Mm.
right now that I'm doing this podcast, she's in the background and she
Yeah.
already understands like this is how life is. Like if I'm
Yeah.
packing orders, she's helping me pack orders.
Nice.
If whatever I'm doing, they're a part of it.
Mm.
So yeah, sometimes they get frustrated because they want me to help them do something or they want us to get up and go somewhere. And I'm like, okay, we can do it, but let me finish doing this power hour, what I call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we can go,
Mm-hmm.
So they get frustrated sometimes, but you have to teach them also, and I would never trade giving them everything like I did before, because I did. Like if they wanted 5 pairs of shoes all at once, I would just say, okay, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God I didn't, keep doing that with these guys, because that's not right. You don't want to do that to your kids.
You gotta build some self-discipline in them.
Yeah, you do. So now they have to work for whatever they, financially right now, it's not the same as I was making 1.5 million a year to now, like I don't even make 100,000 a year. So you have to adjust. But am I happier now than I was back then? Yes.
Of
So
course.
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and like money is not the full, like money is good. It's a tool that you can use, right? But it's just a tool and it's a man-made currency. And I always say there's other currencies, which most of my mentors always say as well, like, your time, that's a currency, right? So, and also your energy, that's a currency. And then your abilities, right? Those are all three other currencies, right? So if your ability to like stay healthy, manage your family, all those things, those are all currencies of life, and money is the man-made currency, right? So
Yeah.
it's that's something I think it's important to be aware that, especially for myself on my journey, it's like one of the keys to my happiness and success, I would say at 31, is that I always made sure to realize that money is just a tool, and seeing success in, multiple businesses, but like money, I never like sold my soul to money, because like there's all these other things, experiences and memories. Like I always say, like when you're 70 and you're rocking in your chair, like you're not going to remember a lot of things. Like the only things you're going to remember is the memories you made, the experiences that you had. You're not going to be like, oh, I wish I showed up at that job more, I wish I made more money there. No, it's like you're going to be thinking back to how many family events did you have, how many experiences and memories you have with your friendships and all those things, right? So it's very important, right? So for you now, like running your fitness business and everything that you do, how are you finding, like, what are some challenges that would you say you're facing even while you're running, let's say, your network marketing business? Like what are some challenges that you feel like you experience? It could be, people not, like not being as serious that are in your organization, or maybe it could be like finding the right leaders, right? From anything. I'm very curious to hear on that.
So right now the challenges are a little bit different. So before, when I first started with network marketing, I thought, I had to sell $50,000 worth of products in a month to make 50,000. So when I would hear people were getting paid 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, I thought that's what it was. So I was like, what is this? I used to sell 55,000 in tuition in a month, so I could do it, And so I was like rushing it. I was not building relationships. I was just kind of like seeing people as a number again. At the end of the course, the students, they were not just a number, because I could see their progression and how, it changed their life in some sense. So for me, that was satisfying, and it fulfilled me. But I was starting to do the same thing here. And so I quickly learned that this business of network marketing is more of a building relationships. So you don't have to worry about selling them a huge package or selling them that many products, because eventually they're going to help you sell those $50,000. All you have to do is build that relationship and have them fall in love with the product just like you did. And then just be there to support them and to help them grow personally. So become a better person, be happier, and naturally the whole thing is just going to flow. And for me, that's the most important part. But at the same time, it has been such a challenge in the last year to not see those numbers, like not see those deposits come in like I was used to.
Yeah, no, of course. So you're a cosmetic business, like you guys, like what level did you get into, in a sense of like how much revenue, like what was the highest point of the business? Like how much were you guys doing in revenue on a monthly or yearly basis?
Can we pause a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that. So guys, we had a pause there because Alex's little 3-year-old was running around. So she had to put on a show for her. We're back as you're listening to the podcast. So one of the thoughts that was coming to my mind was, as we just had this pause. So you also have an apparel line as well, right? That's another business?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. So how is that going? And like, what are some things that you're learning from running an apparel business?
So I had to learn the whole e-commerce thing. And I'm really good at social media because we've been doing social media, but e-commerce was a little bit of a challenge for me. Just learning ads. Ads has been a huge challenge. So I mean, I worked on that for a while, and then I said, I'm good at social media, so I'm just going to stick back to social media, stop doing the ads. The first month I made 5,000 in sales. Then we went to 10,000, and we stayed on 10,000 for a few months.
Nice.
And then I got serious with the network marketing business. So I did try to hire somebody to run the social media for me. And I haven't been able to find, someone to help me with that part. So if I can get that, done, I think we can get back to, our regular 10,000 in sales.
And when you say $10,000 sales, so meaning like you were selling $10,000 in t-shirts and sweaters and all these things, right? Just using social media and not Facebook ads, right?
Right. So we were just doing social media.
And when you say social media, just in case anyone is listening, right? So like, what were you guys doing? Like, were you just posting stuff and using hashtags? Like, what did that actually look like that was able to get you guys to $10,000 a month in sales?
So I was growing the page because it was obviously a brand new page. So just growing the page by staying consistent with my posting, doing lots of reels, lots of lives, lots of stories that were, making the fitness apparel look good. So I would just literally wear it. I would do like a video actually showing, I would go live, show the material. I did work with some influencers that I already knew. So I would tell them like, hey, I'll send you a couple outfits if you don't mind just sending me content and posting it on your story. I didn't do a lot of it because it's really different now with using influencers for that.
Okay.
I feel like Instagram doesn't show, if they have 500,000 followers, it's really not going to show those 500,000 people.
I think it's because like, I don't know, but from my understanding, a lot of social media, like a lot of the social media influencers, like you have to actually do like the research, and there's like websites that actually has access to like influencers where you got to get their insights and like actual their data and stuff like that to show. Let's say, for example, an Instagram person has 500,000 followers, right? And I want to hire them as an influencer. I would probably, this is just from my experience, I would probably ask them like, hey, can you send me your data? Like how many people are seeing each story? Like, the insights on Instagram, like you can like click on and get all that information. So it's like, I would like to get all that information, because what I have actually found is that a lot of these influencers, they have, let's say 500,000 followers. And then if you go look at the page, like, let's say how much their posts are getting liked, it's like 1,000 likes. It's like, that's not a ratio. And then that means that they actually have a lot of, so they bought followers, right? So let's say, for example, they have 500,000 followers. There's packages that for like $50, you can buy let's say 50,000 followers or 10,000 followers. So a lot of them have spent $1,000. They might have had only like 50,000 followers, but then they bought like 450,000 followers, trying to look big to get, let's say, people like me and you to message them and wear our apparel and stuff like that. But I usually, to make sure that they are right and like they actually have a good page, an engaging page, is I did like an online course. So I look at the engagement on all their posts. And then second thing is the ratio of likes to their page. So if somebody has 5,000 followers, they should have around 500 to 700 likes per post. And then, so, and if they don't, so now if you're seeing a page that has a lady or a girl or a woman that has 100,000 followers, and they only have 3,000-4,000 likes, something is wrong, right? And let's say the engagement also, like if somebody has 100,000 followers and their post has like 30 comments, it's like something is wrong, right? So those are, it's definitely a process, like a working process to find influencers that can actually, be profitable for you, like where you send them a $200 worth of outfits and then you can get, let's say 10-20 sales out of it, right? But it is definitely a challenge these days, because like I said, there's so many like bots and stuff like that on Instagram, and people buy a lot of followers. So for your apparel line, like who does is it like a print on demand thing, or do you actually like have the press and all that stuff and you are pressing these clothes? Like how are you doing that?
Everything's it comes to me already like with the logo on it. So
Nice.
I just have to put out the orders. Yeah. So the same company that manufactures it also adds my logo to everything.
Nice. No, that's amazing. Because I have like Apparel Alpha is so like the whole brand. It's there's an apparel line, there's courses, there's like the podcast, right? There's a whole bunch of different things under the umbrella. But like I have a COO who does all this stuff. So I bought the machines and everything because we wanted to have everything in house. Because we're building a brand and we're like long term. And so we wanted to have all the in-house stuff. That way we are in control of everything. So we know exactly the material, how good it is, and so just in-house was pretty much the mindset that I had as I was building it. But yeah, no, like we do everything. Like we press the shirts, the designs are all made by my CEO. I have like 4 or 5 people that work under the company with me. So but everything is done in-house. I was always curious what the print on them, like I've had a couple of people reach out to me where companies where they do the whole thing and then like I can just like do the marketing and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And it still works, right? So no, that's pretty cool. And does the apparel line like give me like a for yourself, like you're building all these different businesses, right? What would you say are like qualities? I know you mentioned work ethic, right? And also like being ambitious. As you have built these businesses, what are some other qualities you feel like that is like required for someone that, let's say, wants to build a business, that they probably must have these qualities if they want to see success and six figures and above?
You have to be ambitious. You have to have integrity.
Hmm.
I think integrity is another big one.
What does
You have,
integrity, like, what does, sorry to cut you off. What does like, what is integrity to you? Like, what does that mean to you?
I feel like integrity to me is the most important part of a business. Like you're not going to start a business to make money. You're going to start a business to try to help others
Hmm.
or to have your legacy fulfilled, I feel.
Yeah.
So for me, it comes alongside with integrity. Like if you started something and your focus is that to build your legacy and to really help, to
Hmm.
be for your product or your service to help people,
Yeah.
I feel like automatically it's going to come with the integrity because you're doing it for that reason. And
Hmm.
then the money is going to flow. It's just going to come in. Obviously, it's not just going to flow like that. Like you have,
Yeah.
that's where the ambition comes in. That's where the work ethic, that's where all of that comes in.
Yeah.
But it should, integrity shouldn't interfere with the money that's coming in. It should
Hmm.
actually help it flow in.
No, I like that. I like the way you explained it. Pretty much like you want to have, like, what I was taking from that is that you want your intentions to be good. Like you want to be like, like you're starting a business. It's like you want to help people. So it sounds like integrity is almost like make sure that like your intentions are right and like you want to help people and then actually come out with things that's going to help people. Like, there's like saying I'm going to help people and then actually making decisions that are coming directly from that mindset where like, wow, like this apparel is going to help people, like this health product, this protein shake, like this is actually going to help people, and like making sure to operate from that, right? And of course it's also a business, so you got to think about the money, but I think I love what you said, that like integrity, right? What is some, I guess, like what does your root, like some things that you do you feel like that are contributing to your success? So it could be just part of your daily routine. Like what are some things that you do? It could be like writing in a journal, or like what are some of these things that Alex does that would you say has contributed into you being the ambitious, hardworking woman that you are?
I think the personal development is so important. You
Mm,
really have to take that time. I know we don't, personal development doesn't make us money, but
yeah.
I think it's part of our responsibility to be better for
Mm,
ourselves and for those people that we service every day. So
yeah.
taking that time, 30 minutes, an hour a day to really read, read books,
Mm,
listen to audibles, whatever it is. Sometimes we don't have time to sit there and read a book, but
yeah.
there's no excuses. You can listen. I listen to my audible while I'm washing the dishes, I'm in the shower, I'm driving.
Mm,
I don't always have the luxury of just listening to music and jamming out. i
yeah.
have to I have to get in my personal development, so I
Mm,
do that. We do meditations together with our community, so we take the time to do Saturday tea talks. So
mm,
Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., as much as I would love to spend it with my kids and my family, I have a commitment to my community. So we do that 9 to 10 a.m. every morning on Saturdays,
mm,
whether I'm on vacation or not. That's my commitment. So I do that for my clients and my community. So we
mm,
get together and we go over just, you know, things that are in our feelings, things that we need to heal on. We do different things each month. We read a book together sometimes, and then we, share our takeaways on Saturdays. We let the community share what they felt, and
mm,
so that's part of the stuff that we do that doesn't necessarily bring us in money, but
yeah.
um, I feel it's part of it.
No, it's important. Like it's crazy, like the community part and like that thing that you're doing, right? It's interesting. So like it may feel like it's not really bringing any money, but it's actually bringing a, it's a big contributor because the people
Yeah.
that are part of that, they are getting fueled in those experiences. They like those things. They like the community. They like the connection. And that's probably what leads them to go and, order a product again, stay in the organization, right? So it's super important to do that, right? And I think I always suggest, like, for a lot of business owners, that it's the most important thing. Like, community is the most important thing, because the happier your customers are, the happier your clients are, the more they are encouraged to stay in the business and to help and to do more and, like, just be a part of everything, right? So I believe it's a big important thing. And you said, like, so you guys do like a meditation?
So Saturdays during Tea Talk, we do different things. Sometimes we have a book club going, so we're reading a book and we share takeaways and we talk about the different topics. Some Saturdays we just sit there and do yoga together. We meditate. So it's just different things that we do Saturday mornings during that hour. And then on top of that, we also do 5 to 10 minute meditations every morning that we post on our support chat. So we have a support chat. And so we'll do like live meditations for them there too every morning.
Nice. No, that's awesome. Meditation is a big game changer. So I have a couple of courses online on meditation and stuff like that. Like, it's a big life changer for me. And it's done wonders for me. So, like, I'm very big on meditation. And you mentioned something about reading books. So I read a lot. I don't listen to as much audios, but I read a lot. I've been reading, probably 50, 60 books a year since 2015. And I always say that, just like for your body, like, you have to give it food, right? So books are mental food, meaning that, like, let's say, for example, you have a desire to make it, let's say, somebody has a desire to make $1 million, right? And they have only worked a job making $50,000 a year. What is going to help them go from 50 to $1 million a year is mental food, right? Reading books about people that were in the same position as them and they made it to the top. Reading books about people that started businesses, what it requires to start a business, what it looks like to start a business, learning about the power of your imagination. So that's all mental food, right? So I believe that reading and audibles, it's super important in the success process, because if you're not feeding yourself mental food to get more understanding on your journey, what is going on, what it looks like, all those things, then eventually you give up. Eventually most people give up. Eventually most people stop. And I believe the reason why most people end up stopping is because they stop feeding themselves the mental food that's required to stay in that business, to stay in that field, right? So reading books is, like, it's massive. And for me, I'm someone that barely made it out of high school. I was not really a big school person. I was, like, charged for trafficking narcotics by the time I was 17. Like, I was literally like the statistic. Like, I was not supposed to see a success I have seen in my life, especially in the last 5 years. But what has changed me is in 2015, I started to read books. Actually, I joined a network marketing business. That was one of my first businesses. And of course, like, I seen, like, I was always the same thing, ambitious person. The first 30 days, I recruited 60 people myself, and I had a team of over 150 people. And I was just in my own community. And, like, yeah, so, like, I absolutely crushed that business. And then a year after, the company went through, like, they got charged with for being actually a legal business. So FTC in the US charged them, and so everything shut down. But that was my first experience with network marketing. And then after that, I became passionate about starting my own businesses. So I got into e-commerce, I got into different spaces. But my point here, what I was trying to share was that books have changed my life. Reading books have helped me become who I am. And I continuously still read books, because, like, I'm such a big believer, even with my own clients that I work with. Like, it's mental food. Like, if you want to stay in the game, whatever game it is, like, if you, let's say, you want to start eating healthy, and, like, say you want to be a vegan, like, the only way you can become a vegan is, like, you continue to educate yourself. And this is just an example, random example, but like you have to continuously read about the benefits of being a vegan, why it's good for you. And, like, I don't know if but that's just an example I'm using, right? Like, let's say cryptocurrency, you want to invest in cryptocurrency. You have to read books on it. You have to find out the people that are investing in cryptocurrency. You have to read their stories. You have to see why they're being successful, why people are making money from it. Because if you're not feeding yourself that mental food, you might get excited about it one day, and then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks from now, it's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing something else. What happened? It's because you can get inspired and motivated about something. Like most people, let's say that show up, let's say to like a network marketing meeting, right? But then the process to get them to actually stay committed and crush it in their business, to have their goal in front of them. And number two is mental food. Continue to feed in the mental food, right? Like, and you can, find out what they're into. Like, oh, I'm into goal setting. Awesome. Read this book on goal setting, right? I love learning about marketing. Okay. Read, this guy is, a great marketer. Study him, right? So I'm I'm a big fan of, I call it mental food. Like, you got to feed yourself mental food, which can be reading and all these things, right? As we finish off the podcast, please let everyone know, like, where can they find you online? I'm going to put all your detailed sections in like the podcast in the detail part. So anyone that listens to this podcast, they can reach out to you, follow you, connect with you, potentially buy your apparel line, whatever it is. So yeah, please let everyone know where they can find you there, Alex.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Instagram, Mom Boss Coach, and momboss.fitness. Those are my two Instagram handles. I'm also on Facebook for both of those.
Okay.
And my fitness apparel line website is mombossfitness.net. So you guys can purchase gear there and send me a DM. I read all my DMs, you guys. I'm not the type that skips DMs. I know I get that a lot, but I open every single one and I respond to every single one.
Awesome. No, that's amazing. So I'm going to put all those detailed sections of Alex so you guys can actually find and connect with her. Lastly, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure just talking to you, and just to talk to somebody that was, that has done this journey of going from an employee to an entrepreneur, and, the struggles, what you learn, what it takes to become successful, all those things. I'm sure everyone listening to the podcast is going to get a lot of value from it. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving us an hour of your time there, Alex.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My pleasure.
No, that's amazing. And as I finish off the podcast, I just want to set some intentions for everyone that's listening. My intentions are truly for you guys to listen to this episode, and you may have the desires to start your own business. You may have the desires to be successful in business, start your own fitness journey. I hope that my intentions are that you listen to Alex's story and be inspired to take action on your own journey, right? You don't have to be super talented. As long as you're willing to do the work, as long as you're willing to learn new things and put in the time, you can too achieve success. You too can make your goals and your dreams come true. So my intentions are that I hope that you listen to this and you take some practical action towards whatever it is that you desire. And I want you to believe in yourself and realize that you too can achieve whatever it is that you put your mind to. And until next episode, stay an aware alpha.